Scott McTominay out for weeks. Marcus Rashford injury scare has been really gonna hate obviously be overcome, and Diego Dalot is gonna hate reveal to us as this is one of his best seasons in his career. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share if you're watching us for the very first time. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And I'm here to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as Man United is concerned, and continue to subscribe. Third video of the day. Hope you guys are really enjoying the marathon that we are all about, and I think we are gonna obviously do lots of things if at all we continue really doing that. I'm trying to maintain the pace of like 3-4 videos on a daily such that we keep everything up in the sky. Now it's gonna be Eid tomorrow, that is Wednesday for the Muslims, and Eid Mubarak in advance for everyone who is really not gonna be here tomorrow, as I wish you Eid, because most of you might really get involved, right? And your involvement might obviously get you down the party, and you don't even have time for your smartphones or smart gadgets to watch. The Christians, we've always gone ahead to cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. And we're here to obviously take this to the level where it deserves to be. Now, yesterday, it was a Saturday, so it was a Sunday. Scott McTominay was not part of the match squad for the club of Man United, and he never took part in that game of Liverpool. And finally, we know why he never really took part. Now, the United insider, they've been really very close to very many stories, has gone ahead and confirmed to us that Scott McTominay was not used against Liverpool due to healing discomfort in his knee after suffering a hyperextension against Chelsea. Early reports are that it's not serious and he could be out for 2 to 3 weeks depending on the rehab. Now, this has gone ahead to obviously see our injury room really surge. For example, remember we had more added in the game of Chelsea. That is Lindelof, Evans. Sorry, it was Varane, Evans, and it was Varane and Evans that really added themselves to that injury room. They found there Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Terrell Malacia. You can count Anton Martial. There is who else is injured there? So they're gonna have to add themselves to those that are already there, and it's really ugly for the club of Man United. So it was really very, very, very unbecoming for the side of Man United, and injuries are really surging up. But for Scott McTominay, when he gets injured, you don't really feel his absence. I tell you, when you're having Casemiro, Amrabat, Eriksson, Amad Diallo, Kobe Menu, and very many others, the Bruno Fernandes of this world, you don't really feel the injury threat of Scott McTominay, though he has gonna hit to have a very beautiful season. I think he has a goal in the Champions League. He has 7 goals in the Premier League. He has scored in the FA Cup. He's really one of those players that you have to obviously give him praise for what he's gonna hit to do this season. I know people think that I really have a personal vendetta onto Scott McTominay, but I always give credit where it's due. He has gone ahead to have his best season in the shirt of Man United ever, I tell you. And this is the only time he had to utilize this chance. But to show you that he's not a United level player, it's because even when we are having even when we're having Casemiro, shrinking like that, Scott McTominay cannot be in the team. We're having Kobe Menu in the team, and our best midfield 3 is not Scott McTominay anywhere near it. That shows you how he's not the quality player that you'll ever want to have at the club of Man United. And I tell you this, it's high time we got him go. He has gonna hit to do what he's gonna hit to do with his performances this season. We can get 40 million pounds out of him. Let's sell him off. I tell you, we should sell him off. It's not that he's a versatile player. If he was this kind of player with a Darren Fletcher kind of dynamism, or John O'Shea, Like he would play in the central midfield, he would play as a right back, play as a central defender, and so on and so forth. I would have gone ahead to say, all right, let's keep him around because he can act as a patch every time you're really having a problem into the central defense, right back, left back, and so on and so forth. It will be remembered that at the Scottish national team, he was used to be playing as a defender in the 3-man central defense that the manager used to do, I think 2 years back. But when Ten Hag came in through and really gave him that allowance to obviously play as a central attack midfielder and obviously make those late runs in the box to see to hit that he was going to hit to score very many goals for the club of Man United, Scott McTominay, even the national team, his role went ahead to change. He was one of those players that went ahead to score very many goals for the for the country of Scotland, and today I was going to renew his contract with Adidas, courtesy of his performances at the club of Man United. But however much he's injured, I wouldn't really like him to get injured. I would love to see him available because I believe in that game of Liverpool, you get him off the bench, you get him in, he would have gone ahead to do something different altogether because there is the way he runs and gives you all what he has. That's the beauty of Scott McTominay and other players like Marcus Rashford, that you at every time think that Marcus Rashford has a level he's supposed to clinch, and he doesn't. Until now, we believe that there is something that Marcus Rashford is not giving to the club of Man United. We might be lying to ourselves or not, but he's not that kind of person that will ever want to come out and really see to it that he faces your team, and because he can really pull out a draw in a certain moment, like has always gone ahead to do. But for Scott McTominay, what makes him special is that he gives you what he has. That's the beauty of Scott McTominay. He will get you what he has, what he can offer. He fights for this badge, and I think that's one of the reasons that I can at a certain point say, let's keep him at the club of Man United, because he fights for the badge. He fights for the badge. He wishes he was Messi. He wishes he was Paul Pogba. He wishes he was Casemiro. He wishes he was Rodri. He wishes he was a Chiomini. He wishes he had capabilities of players like Joshua Kimmich. That is it. But he is a limited player, but he gives you the best that he obviously has to offer to the club. That's what makes me feel that I would rather have players who really die for this club than players whose talent is not helping us at any moment. Like you saw Rashford there, Bruno Fernandes, Okay, for Bruno Fernandes, a little bit of running around, he does it, but he really put out very many blind passes, and it has gone ahead to cost us very many games. Even that game of Chelsea, if Bruno Fernandes could do the needful, we'd have gone ahead to find ourselves really killing off that game, and Chelsea wouldn't have even gone ahead to resurrect to get back and really beat us by 4-3. And by the time they got that penalty, it would have gone ahead to be like 4-3, and would have gone ahead obviously close down and really understand that it's time for us to obviously clinch the 3 points there. So I'm really baffled on how the side of Man United is really having injuries. They have very, very many injuries, and I was watching Mark Goldbridge today. He went ahead obviously and put out some statistics that are really very, very, very very, very annoying, meaning that the physio department of Man United needs a huge overhaul, because in the last 10 years, Man United have gone ahead to average 26 injuries, right, a season. And out of those, 46% of those have been muscular injuries, and 16% have been knee injuries. And you're going to hate to say that those are the common injuries that teams really have. But at United, it's really alarming. It's very, very alarming at the club of Man United. And I tell you, we should find a reason for this. But it's good to see that he's injured a little bit. Let him rest a little bit, and let's see how Amrabat, Mason Mount, Eriksson take center stage into that role, because sometimes he confuses the manager, according to me. I think sometimes when he's supposed to bring on Amrabat, he gets on Scott McTominay at the field of play. So I think it shouldn't really happen the way that's going to hit to happen, but it might be a blessing this guys in any way. But he's not the player who will fancy to obviously start the club of Man United. I would love to see to it that he quits the club and really finds himself playing elsewhere, not for the club of Man United. But 2 to 3 weeks away, Yeah, that is, today is 9th, 16th, 23rd, meaning that he'll return towards the end of this month. So that's when he's really gonna come in through. Meaning he's going to miss out on the game of Bournemouth, Coventry City, and is it Sheffield at Old Trafford? Those are the 3 games he's gonna really miss out, and he's gonna return as we take on. Is it Newcastle? The game of Newcastle is gonna have to be postponed. So we'll see which game is he going to be returning on. So that's all about Scott McTominay. But it's not only Scott McTominay who is really injured, but even Marcus Rashford went off the field of play when he felt like he couldn't go any further. But it looks like he has gone ahead, obviously put out a very good message that he's really doing fine. But however much he's doing fine, I would prefer Ten Hag should really rest this guy and not really force him around. Now, we've gone ahead to be shown this article, all this Instagram post. Posting on his Instagram on Monday afternoon, Rashford, the 26-year-old England international, eased fears that he could miss United's upcoming Premier League games and next weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Coventry City, replying "I'll be okay" to one concerned fan who commented on his post. So you see that reply. Rashford said, unfortunately we couldn't see out the game to my niece. Right, that's what he went ahead to say. So he went ahead and obviously said he's really doing fine, and we shouldn't really go ahead and really worry about him. He's really doing fine, and a lot is really gonna come up. That is Marcus Rashford for you. And for Rashford, I'm still here scratching my head to get the perfect answer on what's really baffling this lad. You know, he went in and scored 3 goals in the game of against Man City, against Everton, and which other side? He scored 3 games in 3 consecutive games. Then, and I think against Liverpool. Then we go ahead to win the international break. He comes out. We play against Brentford. He looks rusty. Against Chelsea, he looked rusty. He came off the bench and couldn't even literally run. Against Liverpool, he looked worse. So I don't know what exactly is wrong with this lad. Is he playing with an injury? But we all know that last season he played with the injuries, but he was really up to the standards and went ahead to score very many goals, 30 in the number. But this season, he's really having problems. And I tell you this, he's one of those players that I won't be worried about not being available. That is it. Maybe he needs some time off and see how the likes of Garnacho, Anthony, Amad Diallo do the job. That's what we're supposed to be seeing at the club of Man United for this guy, because I don't see him anywhere reaching the levels of really getting to where we demand him to be. So he's not all that injured. Looks like he's gonna be back for the game of Bournemouth away on Saturday, but that is one of the games that you'll ever want to see United win, and I wouldn't like to see him start. You know, I tell you, I wouldn't like to see this guy start into that beautiful encounter. So that is it coming in through from Marcus Rashford. He has gone ahead, obviously, address his injury scare, that he's not doing bad, meaning that he's gonna really rest for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. These players will return to Old Trafford, to Carrington, to obviously train a little bit. Then let's obviously call it quits with the story coming in through from Diego Dalot. He has told us that individually it's been the best season of my career, but it's kind of bittersweet because collectively things aren't going the way I and the club would like to. I believe I've done my job and I want to keep going so that things continue to go well. Obviously, this is his best season at Man United, and he has gone ahead to put in shifts. You know, when you hear people say that United shouldn't be having players like Rashford, and they're really supporting teams whose right backs are really very, very, very rusty, and you ask yourself, in which lenses is he using to obviously watch the game, and you really feel bad and bitter for him, because some people don't know what the game of football is all about. Dalot has some good stats, you know. He has made tackles, and I think it's only one player this season that is going to obviously sit him down. I'm going to see Kyle Palmer in the first half of Chelsea versus Man United, but he's going to hit to close down every decent left forward or right forward, including Saka, Diaz, name it. So some people just think that Ten Hag is the problem at Man United, forgetting that this team is going to have to get in some good players and good managers. And I, at some point, feel like I should really have a one-on-one discussion with these people and ask them that, name your right back, put his stats here, and get in Dalot. So, what yardstick are you using to call him one of the worst? Yet, for me, I see he's one of the best. And you tell me to name the best 3 right backs in the Premier League this season, Dalot is among. Dalot is among, because he has gone ahead to put in performances that are really relentless and has been consistent. He hasn't gone ahead to get injured, and all what happened when he was playing against Chelsea, that is the part of it's part of football. It's part of football, and very many players have gone ahead to do that. So we thank God for the gift of life. Your thoughts on Scott McTominay out for weeks, Marcus Rashford injury scare addressed, and Dalot addressing this as one of his best season that's going to be declared as bittersweet, because where they are is not where the club of Man United wants them to be. All that and more into the comment section below. Rock and David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The Muslims, Eid Mubarak in advance, because I know on Wednesday it's really gonna be Eid. Bye bye.